Wow. So it's been a while, and yeah, I'm live for the first time in a long time. I'm doing a video for the first time in a long time. I'm not counting my little snippet I did earlier, and all I can say is we're back, baby. But before I do that, I actually got something I got to do. Really, just hold right there. Hold tight. Wow. Yeah. So sorry about that. And my God, I have not done this. I haven't recorded live from in my own dwelling off of a fucking computer, which is an upgrade that is like years in the making. But let me be honest, anybody that's gonna watch this doesn't want to fucking hear me talking about, how far behind everything else I am. But I do want to talk about that, not because I want to be able to do this again. I want to get back to doing it. I used to love talking about wrestling on this channel. I haven't done anything in months, and my God, that's months of being away and nobody knows who the fuck I am and not putting out any effort and everything else, mental depression, life, family, all types of blah, 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 I don't really care about. So let me talk about the wrestling because, my God, AEW, after Revolution, now that everybody's calling it the best AEW pay-per-view, I thoroughly disagree. I don't call this their best pay-per-view. It was a good pay-per-view that ended magnanimous, but it wasn't best. AEW, they have done better, which shows that from start to finish were better. This one started out a little slow for me, but we're not talking about Revolution. We are talking about Dynamite tonight with a new logo, new set, new intro, new graphics. Oh my God, they really did their thing upgrading tonight because it is so much more. And I've been here since day one, man. I was here with the exploding colors. I was here when they did the red and blue thing, which felt very SmackDown versus Raw to me. So this new aesthetic, I am in love with. Off the rip, they've changed the logo, which is nice. How it's going to affect the Collision? It's curious to me because Collision does have its own thing going on, and I've noticed some differences in the product, which I wish it would do a bit more. But it's cool, Congrave, whatever. Rampage. Jeez, I'm still kind of on the fence about Rampage because I feel like what Rampage is could be given to Ring of Honor. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're just here to talk about the night of wrestling. And because I am on my computer, I can actually have much better notes than what I've had in the past. And it feels so nice to be able to say I can, look at notes. Well, that way I can disseminate my thoughts and opinions a little bit better. Maybe I can explain myself in a way that's more appealing. Now, I don't know how this is going to turn out in the end because I'm not used to doing this shit with a computer. So forgive me if it looks ugly, choppy, and if you're still here, hey man, thanks, because I'm doing some new shit. But let's get this thing on popping and cracking because we open up with the man of the hour, Swerve Strickland, coming and talking with Tony Schiavone, having to discuss the failure of being unable to capture the AEW title at Revolution. And Lord knows, this man put on a fucking classic. I mean, he is a bona fide babyface, which is crazy because his group, the embassy, they're still very much heels, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But for him, this was a very impassioned babyface promo, and hearing and just seeing the pain of having people, fans from his hometown coming to watch him become champion, leave unsatisfied with the fact that he couldn't accomplish that. That's bothering him. That's tricking him. But hey, maybe in the end, if this man just, is able to tackle it by himself, he can win that belt. And I would love to see Swerve do that. Also, somebody's here. I don't know who you are, but appreciate you for watching. Talk about Dynamite. And eventually Joe comes out. Joe does come and he's out here, doing his own thing. I'm loving Samoa Joe as a champion, not only because of his veteran status, but also the poise that he carries, the way he dictates his thoughts and opinions and basically belittles whomever it is that, is across from him, be it former champion, be it contender, doesn't matter who the F you are. At the end of the day, you ain't the champ. And, I was perfectly content with, this being their own thing. Swerve was obviously going to try and get Joe to want to go at him with the one-on-ones, but that ain't happening because Joe ain't about to waste his time with somebody who couldn't get the job done. But then that's when the Undisputed Kingdom comes in. We get a little exchange, rah-rah. I wasn't really feeling it because I figured that it's a little soon to be trying to have them be in the mix, especially, with Wardlow being the guy that's supposed to come and dethrone Joe. And in the end, it just kind of did the whole WWE thing of let's have a tag match and will they, won't they? But I liked how they handled this one because it was Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus the champ and Swerve, which the dynamic of it being that, Joe was going to handle it all himself. Couldn't do it. Now, I felt that when it came to Bennett and Taven, they really should have been way more on Joe's bumper than they were, but it's all right. Like I said, they are legacy talents. There's nothing to really dog on them because Matt Taven himself is very accomplished. World champion in multiple promotions. I believe it was AAA where he became their mega champion as well as being former Ring of Honor champion. Many times 6-man tag champs. The Kingdom is quite, accomplished if you don't know. So, that's why I really felt they should have been getting more from it, especially being that they're champs. I don't care if it's the Ring of Honor belts. Ring of Honor itself, there should still be a level of weight carried with that company and its title, especially considering how long they've been in there. So for me, I really wanted more from them, but what can we say? We're really supposed to be showing off what our main event picture looks like. And it's cool. It was cool that Joe, the champion, the man who, beat Swerve and Paige, couldn't get the job done tonight. But Swerve good. Swerve did. He got in for the hot tag, ended it, and Samoa Joe was just in disbelief about it. And Swerve is just, hot horse because it's like, bro, I could do something you couldn't do. Basically, if Paige wasn't the added factor to that match, I had Joe's number. And I am definitely believing that. So Joe B and Joe just had to choke him out whenever we had the whole face up between Wardlow coming down, walking, muscles. So for me, I liked the segment. I could have again done without the Kingdom, but I do like the dynamic of Swerve gonna be that little chip on Joe's shoulder because you beat Paige, you didn't beat Swerve. So please use this time to build Swerve properly because I definitely want them to run this back one-on-one later down the line. And, it's going to hurt, but, I'll be all right. So, following, that little spiffy, what we have after that? Because it was a fucking night. So after that, Cage versus Hook. Now, I'm not going to lie. I want the FTW championship to do more. The fact is, when a company has a belt, it should be showcased more often. Now, if you want my humblest of opinions, the FTW belt should be in all counts a lower card belt, a show opener belt if it came down to it. Definitely something that can, be a key fixture for like a Rampage and have like a set division because there's a lot of guys in AEW and Ring of Honor. And there are a lot of guys who have had a history of hardcore action. So the FEW belt, I believe, fits a mold of what we can have for a hardcore and lower card division. I would like that. Whether they're going to do it, I don't know. But if this is the beginning of them actually making use of that belt, then by all means. Because Hook has had the belt. I couldn't tell you how many times Hook has defended it. And maybe it's because I have the hardest time trying to watch a Rampage because usually on Friday night I'm working. But it felt nice that to see the match, and it was cool. It was fine. I'm not gonna say anything more. I did enjoy seeing Brian Cage showcase because I have missed this Wolverine. Like when he came to AEW, I was like, this guy most definitely should be in a much higher position. Maybe he could be somewhere in the upper mid or right there, getting into the main event. He was fun. He's exciting. He's a big man that can do little man shit, but it's swole as fuck. And Lord knows that fucking meat match. I love to have seen it with way more meat, but like I said, I'm taking this time once at a time. It was cool. It was fine. I could use more of it. That's my only opinion of it. I'm not gonna say the match wasn't a sell. I just honestly watching that match did something for me that I feel like they definitely need to utilize more. Which is if you want to play Fight Forever, I have Fight Forever. I have all the DLC for Fight Forever. I put it down for a little bit, and I picked it back up, and I'm definitely seeing that they've made improvements to that game. There's more shit they need to work on, but hey, it's fine. Like I said, this match was just cool, fun to watch. Nothing overly deep, but hey, it's giving Hook something to do with the belt. Keep it going. That's cool. Following that's when we had the squash between Kill Switch and Daddy Magic. Literally, it was on a moment. I stopped to do something else. I come back, it's over, and we have Copeland coming back. I mean, first of all, we knew it was gonna be a squash. It's Daddy Magic by him fucking self. He's not about to be out in this bitch handling no fucking Kill Switch. I'm sorry. So yeah, it did what I expected it to do. Kill Switch is there. He's carrying shit. What I would like, Ellie, would have been for somebody that was going for the TNT title to not go after Christian, but go after Kill Switch, because all Kill Switch was hand over the belt Cage. But was it acknowledged by a higher up as an actual championship transition? Because if somebody was really going to look at it, why not challenge Kill Switch week after week after week for the TNT belt as a way to, kind of cause more friction in the patriarchy? But hey, maybe, for Kill Switch actually be able to do more than just be the hired fucking muscle. Because why, for the love of God, is this man just there when he could be doing so much more? But, Kill Switch squad is Daddy Magic, and out comes Adam Copeland, which, he runs down Christian. And honestly, this was the best thing about that whole segment exchange, is a old school backstage running. Cameraman's following, you get multiple shots. Christian doing everything to keep Copeland away as he runs his way into somebody else's truck, which he fucking steals. And I'm just like, I want, this is what I want. It's some fun action. And honestly, anything that's been going on with Christian has always been a highlight. It's always something that you can watch and talk about. And Christian is really underappreciated for what he's been doing as a heel. I love this work. But after, Christian peels the fuck off, Copeland comes out. Hey, Cage Copeland 3 in Toronto. We're going to end this in a cage match. I'm ready. Let's go. It's going to be in Toronto. So they're both going to want to show the fuck off. We're finally going to get Copeland, after all this time, winning and securing this fucking belt. I am up for it. I am with it. I am loving it. So I'm excited for that. So that's what, 2 weeks away? Because next week is Big Business. And then after that, I believe we have the first of the Canadian shows. So that's going to be dope. Following that, Kyle O'Reilly has his interview, and, he's basically saying, I almost couldn't come back. I didn't know if I could even do this thing that I love. But, I'm here and I'm back, but I'm at the lowest rung of everything. I am down bad. And it could be easy for me to get back with my crew and be with my bros and, go up there, but I want to challenge. I want to do this the hard way. I want to grind to where I want to be. And I am up for it because I love me some Kyle O'Reilly. That man is dope. And a part of me does kind of wish that maybe Bobby Fish come along and we can get Red Dragon back. But that's, that's a kind of a who knows scenario, but we don't got Punk, so there's a lot of people that can come back. I think would be very beneficial. Following that, we get the Young Bucks making their announcement that, hey, we're going to have a big announcement. We're going to have 2 announcements. And so this right here, I was not prepared for. I don't think in my wildest thoughts, theories, and dreams would this have been the outcome, but I should have also been able to suspect something in this vicinity, because here's how it went down. The Bucks come down. They're using Cody's lift. They're really in there as they new basically the heel authority figures in the AEW, which they use. We have Tony Khan, who basically still oversees everything and makes final say decision, but the EVPs obviously have some leeway to kind of do their thing. So they're taking advantage of this. One, Hangman Page, who is supposed to be, punished for what he did, his punishment, if you really caught it the first time, is that he is to be suspended from the Elite without pay. No. Here's the thing. He is suspended from the Elite without pay, not All Elite Wrestling. So that I heard that perked my ears, because I'm like, you're suspending Page from the. I mean, I was like, okay, I guess my thought would have been like, we're gonna like let him slide, and it didn't happen. Whatever. Then they get to Kenny, and Kenny is fired because he hasn't shown up, and that's when I'm really perplexed, because I'm like, Page is suspended. Kenny is fired from the Elite. What the fuck are the Bucks doing? And who do you have to replace these fixtures in the Elite? Out of nowhere, out comes Eddie Kingston, because, if you watch the show, or you've watched a couple shows last week, there's been some friction right there with the Bucks and Kingston. And what happens is, Kingston basically rah-rahs. He's pissed off. He's ready to handle shit. Nick is being high-headed. Matt's trying to be the sensible one. But how does this shit go? Bam! Kingston puts his hands on Nick. Matt hits him with the Lobby. It's time for the EVP trigger, right? Then it happens. The coin drops. And I'm losing my literal shit. Y'all don't even understand. I am screaming whilst working because I am in shock that he's debuting tonight. Okada comes out, right? Comes down, suited and booted, as Okada does. So he not only comes down, he goes there and he's helping Kingston, And before it happened, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like a babyface help. And next thing you know, Kingston gets hit with the freaking Rainmaker. Okada hits the pose. And it's Okada and the Bucks. And they announced that Okada is in the Elite. And at that point, I have to applaud these guys because, again, I would not have thought Okada would be with the Elite. Especially an Elite that has no Hangman, no Kenny, but you replace them with a arguably better replacement. And it makes so much more sense because basically Okada has had a Gedo. He's needed a Gedo. Geto's still in New Japan. He's running New Japan's backstage. The Bucks, as they are, fit so fucking good. And I had to applaud this move. And I'm so ready to see where this goes now. Now it seems like they're trying to make it seem like Okada's going to go for the Continental Belt. I do and don't want that. I will say I do want it because it can help really levitate that belt, which, for anybody who doesn't know, the way that the Continental Crown is emblematic of the All Japan Triple Crown titles. So I'm perfectly fine with, them trying to big up this belt that way. But I also don't want this to be the belt he's going to go for first, because Okada is nothing less than a fucking main eventer. And unless AEW has developed a belt that is similar to New Japan's Intercontinental title, then yeah, this isn't the way this is not where I think we should be going with Okada. But I'm going to trust the system because if anything, we're on a much better path creatively to where I feel like Okada will be handled fine. We're just going to have to kind of wait and see. But it's still crazy to think about altogether, right? If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But Jesus, that was a lie. And then we had what I thought would have been the cooldown because, as everybody knows, AEW Women's Division is getting better, but it still hasn't gotten that injection shot that it needs to be where it's supposed to be. But I got to give props on this. So we had Chris Statlander versus Riho, former TBS champion and former AEW World Women's Champion, going at it. And I cannot lie. I loved the match. The crowd got into the match eventually, although they were really low on it. And Statlander as a heel, aesthetically, the changes kind of make sense, but the in-ring dulls for me, and I feel like she needs to work on that a little bit more. Because there are times where she's, supposed to be doing the big heavy lifting, but she's kind of struggling on it. And I love Statlander, I really do. But I've never seen a hint of heel from her, so it felt wrong. But Riho still is getting love, even though she's gone for so long and she's changing up her look. She's looking a bit more mature, not so young Sailor Moonish, with all the frills and whatnot. But she's so solid in the ring, and I still love her, and I think that she definitely is AEW Women's Division's biggest underdog. But not their biggest babyface, because Willow Nightingale, I think, has that one unlocked. But this match got good in a way that the crowd really got behind it. They were behind Riho a lot. And I think it's because everybody was like me. We thought this was going to Statlander. A match that got time. The girls got to show off what they can do. And at the end of the night, on a surprise little roll-up, Riho gets the pin because Chris doesn't fully commit to the heel. I can say whoever, really did this, good call, because the surprise win did a lot for me. And I'm interested to see what's going to happen now, especially with what's Statlander going to do. She's at an impasse. You either going to commit to this heel bit, or you need to go back and get rid of Stokely, but it's also like the only bit of interest going there. And it's not like it's the only thing going on in the women's division. But that's what my problem is. Why does it seem like we're not showcasing a lot more of their stories? Because the women of AEW have always had some pretty good stories, but you had to watch all the extra shit, like back when we had Dark and Dark Elevation, and then there's also Rampage, but there's only so much that we can do. Like I said, I was surprised, and I enjoyed that match. Thank God for, like I said, the surprise win at the end to advance storylines. And I think next we're going to get Riho versus Willow Nightingale, which, sitting back and thinking about it, I would love to see them as a tag team, because that might be the most over babyface situation that AEW could ever have. And if they're going to do that, they definitely would have a great excuse to bring back the women's tag tournament they did a couple years ago, because that was fun. It was something for the women to do, and they could show more of their women talent, which AEW has a plethora of, but they just don't showcase them enough. And it annoys me to no end. But since we're already in the women's, portion of the night, backstage we have Toni Storm, doing her post-win promo deal, not really showcasing the market who's next. But on the plus side, her Mariah May is getting a t-shirt, so that's good. We're gonna get whatever the Tony Awards with an I, which the mess is definitely gonna be worth a watch. And hey, maybe something good will come out of it. But after that, we start getting back to, advancing stories and whatnot, which Darby Allin's coming out. And Darby is giving this, Darby promo full of passion, love, some dread, because he's basically saying, if you don't know, Darby's going to be going climb Mount Everest in the upcoming months. So he's already requested this time off. And that is a scary thing. Now, climbing Mount Everest nowadays is easy, but you're still climbing a mountain. So he gave such a passionate promo about how this might be his last match in AEW, and I can't lie, I was already teared up from Sting's whole thing, but this is a whole nother emotional roller coaster that I just was not prepared to go through. And thank God Jay White came to like really button down the fact that you can do whatever crazy shit you want to do, Darby, but next week you got me. And nobody wants that, but I'm gonna give you an out. You can, just come hang backstage. You can just come scissor daddy ass the rest of the Bang Bang game. Hell, we got a name for you, Darby Scissor. And I was waiting for so long for somebody to make the joke about Darby Scissorhands, and thank you, Jay, for being that person. But it got me back into the move because this is a big moment. This is like one of the biggest challenges Darby has had in a while on the solo tip. And win, lose, or draw, I know it's going to be a hell of a match next week, which is crazy because I don't know about much else going on at Big Business besides the world title match, and no hints as a Monet's debut, but we all know it's coming. If anything, I would say if they really want to do this right, debut her first and just have her like popping up throughout the night. That would be like the best thing. Well, but I'm excited for this match. Kind of sort of, it was announced at the pay-per-view, but what else can we say about it? Following that segment, we get another segment backstage with the House of Black cutting a promo on Mark Briscoe, and that feud is going on. But now the feud's coming to Dynamite, so more eyes on it, I guess. But I'm not that big into it, although I am happy to see that Jay Lethal is probably going back babyface. And I love Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal hasn't been a great heel since he won the Ring of Honor TV and world title simultaneously. Jay White, the franchise of Ring of Honor, is a babyface through and through. He's not a heel. And having him with Team TNA never really fit. Like, you had fun matches, but it just didn't really fit the mold. But seeing him and Mark Briscoe is gonna be dope. I can't wait to see that match, however that's gonna go. But that ain't what we're here to talk about, because we're here to talk about the main event. We knew that at least one match was going to be an amazing match tonight, because that's the rule of AEW. You get a good show that's either going to be like you're going to have a good night throughout. All the matches will be pretty damn good, or you're going to have one great match to cap off with some good shit. Normally a great opener, which this night had. Fletcher,